that's not great. So I was playing it in the background again. Well, good evening everyone, and welcome to another Saturday Night Live. As you probably would know, or might help if that the right way around. There we go. Welcome back to another Saturday Night Live, and I was meant to be live last weekend, but I would have been Gaz built his bigger pond. And what an absolute epic weekend I had last weekend. So out to fill my mate out, as well as recorded, as well as a couple of things, and obviously Daz from Daz's Koi Farm all got together and obviously as well to help him out and get his pond digging. So I wasn't like that on Saturday like I meant to be, but you know, it's one of them. You've got to help out people who help you, and it's what the Koi community is about. And then obviously, as you saw it, I got the video on Sunday about going down the Koi to pick up the chag. And obviously the partner of my company, even though she led me, it really didn't face out. So that came up as well. So yeah, overall, a brilliant weekend, and weekends like that, I absolutely like helping others and people. Probably one day, hopefully coming up there. I don't want a bigger pond back on me, but it's one of them I just like. I'm off the one. Definitely sort that out. That one. That should make it better, because now I shouldn't sound. Is it still bloody awful again? I even tested this earlier. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Now, is that any better? Obviously. It must be just StreamYard again, because it's done it with Gaz's, and now it's doing it with mine. So it's got to be something on StreamYard. But hey ho. Yeah. I wish every weekend could have been like the weekend that's just gone. Because like I said, a brilliant evening, a brilliant day at Gaz's, and then a brilliant day the day after. It was just absolutely massive. But I've got a question to the 19 that I watch at the minute. What do you do for your ponds to get them ready for winter? Like your winter checks? Do you do winter checks or anything like that? It would be great to put them in the comments. Or if you didn't mind, there's the blue banner at the top. You know, you can come on backstage and then come on the show. That's not a problem whatsoever. Scrag, yeah, you and GKP have got a sound virus. It's got to be a StreamYard issue, because I did it with Gaz earlier and all the sound quality was spot on. So it's got to be either a StreamYard problem or a YouTube problem. I don't know which, but it's one of them. But we'll go through a few comments anyway. Now that you can hear me now without any big interference. So I'll just scroll back through the comments, and Tony's always first with good evening, Coisters. Hope you and your Koi are all well. Andy Koi Puddle, hi Tony and everyone. And obviously you always get skiggy no matter what, chat with a boom. Rob and Chris Sweet, good evening. Good evening, Rob and Chris. Your pond over there looks absolutely amazing, and I'm very grateful that people other than in the UK are actually watching me. It absolutely makes my day knowing people in America and Canada and, you know, all around the world is actually watching me. Just blows my mind, honestly. I just can't thank everybody enough for that who do tune in and who do watch and view it and put comments on my channel. It's just amazing, because I think in the last month alone or thereabouts, I think I've gone up about 50 or 60 subs, maybe a little bit more. So I'm on 354, 355, somewhere around that figure. So yeah. And Rob and Chris, if you do want to come on and show us your pond, then you're more than welcome to do so. And then I've got the koi pond in the background, but unfortunately you've got a white blank screen. There we go. Good evening, sir. How we doing? Can you hear me all right? Or is it a sound problem at your end this time, not mine?
Hiya, mate.
How we doing? You'll have to...
Hiya, mate. It might be me.
Yeah,
Wi-Fi. Here the signal ain't very good, but there you go.
Well, it's actually just improved
as
you were about. Oh, and then it's gone again. I mean, you need to put 50p in that internet meter, don't you? Yeah. Because for some reason you were on and then you were all right, and then as soon as you stopped, it sort of jiggered and stopped again. So I don't know what the problem.
Yeah, Wi-Fi been playing up here for the last few weeks, mate.
Oh God! Have you reset
I'll step
your
back a bit on the side and have a bit of a look at it a minute and see if I can do something. But it's
hopefully you can.
Bit in and out here, I can tell. Back in a little bit if I can.
Yeah, no problem. See, I'm not the only one that has internet problems. It just happens sometimes, doesn't it? You know, we all have these problems now and again. So, cheers, I haul. What's the crack this week? Well, it's what anybody wants it to be. As long as it's koi related, pond related, we're all good. Good evening, Sharpie. And I didn't know until you put that comment that you were in that sort of area. Otherwise, I would have done a bit more. Good evening, Scrag. Yeah, sound a bit dodgy. Yeah, well, we've gone through that. Good evening, Will. None of them stupid things if you come on live this time, you sir. Coming up with all these daft names and making me say them out loud. I ain't falling for that again. And there we go. Sound. The sound is up. There we go. But hopefully, there you go. Much better. That's better. There we go. See, this is the thing when you try stuff. This is the thing when you try stuff out earlier on. It generally works, and then sometimes you come on and then it doesn't work. But it's one of them. Like I said earlier, it's got to be StreamYard or to YouTube or one other way. I don't know. And Gaz, I will be doing that tape measure challenge for you tomorrow. I've seen it. But obviously I'm live, so I'm not going to go out and do it live. Not when it's pitch black like this. Because the pond lights I did have were absolutely garbage. And we've got a little like rectangle bit that the remote connects to, like, so it could turn your pond lights on. No, it's not waterproof. But the pond lights, I just don't get stuff. You know, that are for ponds that are outside that ain't waterproof. Unless it's unless it's like some, you know, that was built for an aquarium, and then the 6-in-1 thing, that box bit isn't waterproof. But I understand that because it's built for aquariums and they're trying it on a pond. But things that are actually made for ponds and for outside, why would you things not be waterproof? There we go. So that's the answer to the first question: is what do people do when it comes to the winter? Do you do winter checks on your ponds? What do you guys do? If you want to come on, or you just want to put it in the comments, that's still a good idea. All my koi are going indoors this winter. But then what are you going to do with your pond and Jigsy? Are you going to shut it all down, or what's the reasoning behind them moving all your koi indoors? Are you doing a pond build, or is it just... So I'm struggling to keep... If you've done YouTube videos, I'm struggling to keep up with everyone, as I said last time. We don't want to know what you've done. It's one of them, like I just said earlier. There we go. Good evening, all, from Amanda Smith. Good evening. Thank you, sir, for the kind words. It's not a problem, Rob and Chris. It's just nice that when you set your channel up, you don't realise where people are going to watch you, because you obviously just get the views of people comment. But then when you go into your YouTube studio, which I think people that are on YouTube can do, and it tells you different countries that are watching you. And I think bands United Kingdom, United States, Canada. I just showed Tony, my partner, earlier today, how many countries are actually watching me. And there must have been about 20 countries that are watching me. And I'm like, what? Brilliant. And hopefully now we've got everything working now. You seem to be moving all right, so I gather it's working now, Martin. Is everything working?
Am I there,
at your
mate?
end? Yes, you're here now. And you seem to
Is
be
it
moving.
going or not?
Yes, it's going now, so you're all right.
Yeah, I am moving a bit. It's
So
cutting in and out a bit here. I'll give it a go for a minute or two.
I don't know. What are you like? You're good with your solar, you're good with your ponds. When it comes to the internet, just like rest of us, it just doesn't work. When you want it to work, it never works, does it? But how is that
mate,
solar doing anyway?
Never works when you want it to. You can. The entire house is a Wi-Fi black spot. I'm about 5 foot away from the modem here, like, and it's absolutely blooming useless.
If I were you, I'd be getting onto internet provider and said that the Wi-Fi is absolutely useless. You need to sort something out so you can get better Wi-Fi. And you've dropped out again.
Yeah, it's a new laptop as well. That doesn't help.
Oh, my Lord. I'll have to let you get in the chat, because for whatever reason, your internet's playing up again.
It is absolutely.
Yeah. So I'll just drop you in. I'll have to drop you down.
I'll have another play with it.
No problem.
And but
it must be just tonight and my live. I don't know. So we'll carry on going through a few of the comments, because I've lost track where I was. Not much different to normal maintenance, but I lagged my pipe work. That's exposed. I'll turn the backy off and my water feature. Well, that's what I tend to do, Sharpie, is I turn my backy shower offline for the winter. I bring all the media and everything in the house, keep it nice and dry, stored, and then PP bleach it. So if there's anything that were on it, is all done, ready to then go back outside. But that's another question that I would like you guys to answer for me. Is me and another mate of mine that I talk to quite regularly, we were on about the backy showers. I put it on Gaz's live, but I want to see what people's comments are on my own as well. Do we actually, in the UK, when it comes to the backy showers, do we get the full effect of the backy showers throughout most of the year, or do we have such a short window, whereas in effect we're not getting the full use of a backy shower, and we're just basically paying a lot of expense just for an expensive waterfall? I'll put that out to you guys, see what your thoughts are on that. And also, what do you like your pipe work with? Is it that like what Vince does with that scaffold stuff, or is it just your ordinary lagging stuff? Drop it in comments below. Hi, great Dave, first one of the Mid-Staffs Koi Club. Hope to see more. Come and say hi tomorrow. That was the next thing I was going to get to, Lisa, as well, is has anybody been to the Mid-Staffs show today? And if you wanted to come on and talk about it, or even you or Nip to come on and talk about it, so people that might not know about it already, what might be coming up for people that might want to go tomorrow, because it's a little bit far for me to go. So unfortunately, I won't be attending. But if one of you lot wanted to come on and talk about it, or if anybody has been at the Mid-Staffs today, you're more welcome to come on and chat about it. It's not a problem whatsoever, because that's what this show's about. I I have always run my pond the same summer or winter, but this year I will turn the shower off when the temps get below 10 degrees. I'm looking into covers for the first time. I think you mentioned it on Gaz's Live, didn't you, Tony? You're on about covering the sides of your pond rather than just on the top. And then, good evening, Martin. Kick it back, but I think he needs to have it, you know, give it one of them. Or the best advice I got given is unplug your router, wait for 3 minutes, plug it back in again, let it do its stuff, and then it should work. Oh, that's it. Should work. Good evening, all. Good evening, Vicky. Hope you've had a good day. Wi-Fi in the States here, it has been horrible. Well, if you're in your own house and that, have you got the internet cables and access to your PC? Because if you can come on the live on your PC or on your mobile, or you might even be able to use your mobile data if you wanted to. I know I've seen the next comment. No, Will. No. I ain't falling for none of them again. Not a problem. Hopefully you can get it sorted, Martin, because it would be nice for you to be on the show. But, you know, it's one of them. If internet's playing up badly, then, like I say, try that. Unplug it, leave it 3 minutes, plug it back in. Fingers crossed that'll work. Yeah, good evening, Dave. Good evening, you. We've got evening from Gaz. Good evening, sir. Like I said, I'll have to finish off watching your video because I think you dropped it at like 10, and by the time I saw everything come through, it was about 56, so there was no chance I could get through 10 minutes. I could have delayed my live, but yeah. Talking of pond lights, what central lights are people using over their covered ponds? Are you on about? Well, I'd gather it'd be just like I haven't got one, but I gather it'd be just normal, like an outdoor floodlight or something. So I think, is it up north, Corey Pond? He's got his and he's put it in centre, but I think he's got a remote to dim it down and then a little weatherproof box and then going into his filter shed. So I suppose it'd be just normal outdoor floodlight, but obviously don't want it too bright. What's this tape measure challenge? I'm not getting the little jigsy out. It's getting too cold. But it's ANC set that up. Well, it started off on Gaz's Live where they're on about, how can I remember it? Where people are saying their ponds are a lot bigger than what they actually are. Because like on my pond, like he used mine as an example, I've got my pond, I'm just saying it as if it's at the bottom. I've got 2 shelves there and then it slopes into the middle like 2 sides and then slopes off into the middle like that. So I've just done it straight from the lowest point, which is 4.5 foot by 8 meters by 8 meters is the way I've worked mine out. Obviously it's not, and I've included the filters to make it 2,000 gallons. But as like Gaz says, pardon me, I haven't included the shelves. I've just included the deepest part to the top. So obviously I'll have to take part in the challenge and get the accurate reading. Good evening, Simon. Well, been a lovely day. The Indian summer continues. Summer? We've had 1 week. Well, near enough 1 week. That's all we've had. And it would be good to see if Martin can come back on, if he can get everything sorted. Fingers crossed he does. And what have you set off this time, ANC? Getting everybody to get the blooming tape measured out, to measure the ponds this way, that way, every single direction. But see how many people can get involved, because now I've been tagged in it, so I'm getting involved, Anna. So, like you said, just watch your video, guys. Nice one. There you go. Pond tape measure was a good idea, ANC. Well, if you want to come on, ANC, and you know what made you think of that and stuff like that, more than welcome to come on, because as everyone knows, the blue link is at the top of the comments. Why am I even I do it every time. I just point somewhere thinking like I'm on a normal video, but it's live. But hey ho. And you get the thumbs up from ANC. There's how she is. Here in England, Kent, a backy shower stays on 24/7. This is what I want to see. You know what people do for the winter or the winter preparation, and what do you guys do? What do you know what you might think of doing this year, but you haven't done before, sort of thing. Evening all. And then we got Dave. You have to pump so much water over your shower, and it's too much of a short season. If you don't heat, then you're better off not having a shower. That's exactly what me and my mate was thinking about that. with us on having a short summer, that probably out of the full 12 months, if you had your backy shower running 24/7, that you may on a stretching it out a bit, you might get 4 months of your full use of a backy shower. So maybe a few changes coming at DT Koi about it, but we'll see. Ha 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 ha! Nice try, Will. Nice try. I ain't falling for that again. I find the 2 showers I have had so much more bio. They are totally worth it coming out of winter all the way through to autumn. Without them, I would not be able to have the stock level I have. I think you need to build another pond. The amount of fish, well, the amount of koi you've got in all your ponds, you might as well just turn your garden into a really, really big pond, aren't you? Because you must be enough to be a koi dealer now, Tony. You must be pushing close to it. UFO light. There you go. Yours isn't 8 meters. Well, I meant 2.4. All right. I meant 8 foot is what I meant. All right. All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 8 foot, 8 foot. Yes, I said it wrong. All right. Don't shoot me down. I thought, thing is, guys, just, well, you've got that bit up there. Obviously, you came on just to make sure all the macro and everything were working. It blooming didn't work when I went live, did it? I'm up to do the same as you to make sure everything works all right. Oh, God. I've got a live guest in the background who's called himself Hippopotamus Paddy. No idea why, but I suppose I better bring him on. You didn't like that one, did you, Will? I got you back then, pal.
Hippopotamus Paddy.
I just had to think of it. I had to think of a name off the top of my head, and that's all I could think of.
You right?
Yeah, how we're doing? How's the pond and everything?
Yeah, all good. All good. Give it a good clean today. Been up the wall, lad. I didn't need freaking bathroom fitted.
And I bet you're over the moon now that you've got a shower and a bath. That's all running.
Wasn't.
And how long did that take them?
Well, there was here at 7:30 this morning, and what, 2 o'clock they finished. And now they're up the wall. But yeah, all good, made up now, so all good.
Now, how's the pond? Have you managed to get all them levels under control and that now?
All sorted. I'm a bit low on here, aren't I? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I can hear you because I've got my headset on because I've had microphone problems tonight as well.
No,
Believe it or not.
I've got this little stand thing that my old man bought me. So yeah, all good. Yeah, all good. Can't complain. All cracking. I just need to get this winter home, and like my wood, my pond is just made up mainly of pallet wood that I've fucking salvaged, like the base surround of it. But yeah, next year definitely going up 2 sleepers and then doing it better.
Why don't you just take a bit more of the garden, make it a bit wider as well as a little bit longer? But before you break it to your wife though, take her out for a nice meal somewhere, and then you can slowly break it in and just say, right, I've got this great idea. You know that I've took you out for a meal, right?
Well, yeah, that is an idea, but why? I like my pond the way it is. Yeah, like you going on about covers and that. I've got 4 polycarb covers that fit my pond perfect, exactly perfect, and I'll just that's them. It sounds as it is, and yeah, you watch all these videos, people were extending the ponds and all this, and you think, oh, right, should I do this? But the pond sound as it is. It's great. It just needs a bit more better wood.
But it's one of them. I've got. I didn't cover it last winter because what I did, I see in the background, Nick, probably 2 minutes. Is I did a favour for a neighbour, and he said, I've got this polycarb that you could have. I said, oh, nice one. I'll put it on pond. 40mm polycarb. And I thought, I'll have that on winter, but obviously leave some gaps so you got the air exchange, etc. And I thought last year, I'm not going to cover it, just for my own peace of mind, what difference in temperatures it was. And for my pond, and only my experience, it didn't make a big difference. It might have been a degree difference.
No, mine does. I never, before I proper got into looking after koi, I never had a cover over it. I got a photo of me girls standing on top of it with ice like that. But yeah, since I've had like last winter, I put the polycarb covers over them. Flush looks great, looks sound and that. And I don't think it went below 8 degrees. I was made up. I was like, oh my god.
Well, I think mine dropped to 2 or 4 degrees, and it took. Thing is, with mine, if it drops, mine stays stable. It takes a while to drop or gain because obviously I've got the roof on mine. Unfortunately, I did lose the fish I got for the Gazza's growing show, but their ponds were higher up, and everyone were putting in what degrees theirs were, and mine were like 2 or 3 degrees lower than theirs. But it was one of them.
Yeah.
And Nick, you're going to have to mute your background. Because I can hear myself in the background as well.
I can.
Hi, guys.
Might be better.
Right,
Good evening, Nip. As I was saying, it took
Hang
a
on, I can't
while
hear you.
for...
Can you hear me?
I can hear you,
Huh?
but I think
Can't
we
hear.
can hear ourselves in the background. Don't see you start, Paddy.
Fucking Paddy. Fuck off, you Paddy.
Stupid phones. Hang on, I'll try again.
No problem.
No, it sounds like. Oh,
Because it sounded like there were background, but it just, I think it's going to sort it. It's because if you've got the telly in the background, what with that?
pushing the washing out the way. I can see something in the corner. I'm like,
But it's one
I'm
of that.
shocked.
Every pond's going to be different.
Yeah.
In my view, every pond is different, and I've just tried that out. But like I said, with the growing show, I was 2 degrees lower than everyone else, and I had to go, I think, 2 or 3 days after everyone else just to get my pond up to 10 because of the roof. So, but when it slowly climbs, it seems to stable there a bit better. But since that weekend, I got my pond to 22, and now it's dropped to 17.2 in a week.
yeah.
So, but yeah, you could make it a bit wider, a bit long, but it's all down to personal choice. And if you like it how it is, then
Yeah.
And then that was it. And then as Tony put there, yes, I'm looking into putting polycarb over to the form a roof around the sides and to take it all the way into spring. I don't want a permanent poly roof. I'd prefer to have it open to the sky. How do we come?
You know what I mean? How do we know?
How do we know what? I'm confused.
About that tape measure thing, what they're doing, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, you better be able to use a tape measure.
Don't bother doing me, no. I'm not freaking. What's all that about? I don't know.
I watched the video Gaz dropped on the pond rebuild. It felt like 20 minutes. I couldn't stop watching it. Very entertaining. Well, I tell you what, the hospitality that Gaz and his family give to me and give to everyone that were there helping him was just second to none. Always, do you need some water? Do you want a drink? Do you want this? We've got some food, got this, got that. I tell you, it was just brilliant. I would do it all
Lovely.
over again.
Some
But
nice
I'm not
comments there.
rebuilding.
There's some lovely comments at the end of of Gaz's video from Daz and Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you don't want to. I turned off when you went on.
Well, I didn't do one. Thank you very much, Will. You know, thanks for the support and all that. You know, I'm just gonna unsubscribe and get you back down below your 250 now. I'm only kidding. I'm not like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. There's a little plug coming up.
Oh God, here we go.
Not well. It's not really for what it is. It's not for me what it is for me. But we got his figure.
Come on, Jockey, fire away.
Kathy and Danny Growing Show.
How could you forget the Growing Show that
Kathy
you're
and Danny
doing?
Growing Show. Do you know where it is? It's in Wrexham.
Yeah, it's in Wales, mate. That's
30th of September.
Far, too far for me.
Do you know who's going to be there? Will's Bonds.
You. Well, I want to gather it with you, Will. You know, with all your Forest and your other. Was it 20?
Forest is gone. The Forest is sold.
What for? Did you say it was for 200 quid? I think it was.
It's sold, mate. I swear. I had a message this afternoon. Blah blah blah. Give it all on this. I'm like, mate. It's for me centerpiece. He went, I'm having it. I'm buying it. He's put a sold on, so he's picking up on day. That and a few others, but very good day for Will's bonsai.
Well, like I say, your two bonsais are still going well. You know, the roots have got a lot longer into back your shower. I don't know how it's managed to grow.
Well, it's the Yorkshire air, lad.
Well, they say, you know, it's the best air you can get in the country.
No. Huyton air, lad. Have you smelt the air in Huyton? That's the best air, lad.
No. I haven't been.
You've been to Liverpool, lad?
No.
Never been,
mate. No.
Right. Have you ever heard of Bongo's Bingo?
No.
I know you haven't lived. You look.
I've gone to every part. Well, not every part, but I've been to parts of Yorkshire, Manchester, obviously London for Wembley, and to be fair, that's about it. I haven't really ventured further out because Yorkshire's got a lot of things. You've got the seaside one way, you've got Yorkshire Dales, you've got a lot of it.
Emmerdale.
And what?
Emmerdale.
Well, I think you need to be popping to that pub, Paddy.
Fucking crafty, this fucking Paddy. You want a life fucking Paddy?
Yeah, I got that wrong. It was about 8. I meant to say 2.4 meters by 2.4 meters, but I got it wrong, didn't I?
Oh,
but
Skeg on, is he?
Skeg's in the comments. Yes, he is.
I will post it first thing Monday, Skeg. I've been up the wall, lad, with this. You want to... Freaking hell, my light's just gone off.
Maybe measure like how they measure TV. Well, you never know, Simon. You never know. Thanks, Trevor, Chris. And it is nice for, like I said, I'll just run for a few
Can't see the
more.
comments when you're on here, can you?
No. Not on a mobile, no. You can on PC and that. And then I run my showers 24/7 and not heated. Then Andy's koi puddle. Yeah, well, I'm not sure about the tape measure challenge, guys. I've got a conscience. There you go. And I am. I'm ready, feeling guilty about how jealous I'm going to make you all with just how small my pond is. But the thing is, Andy, your channel, you've named it Andy's Koi Puddles. So, you know, we know it's not going to be a massive one, but the point is, it's your pond and you've built it for you. And as long as you get enjoyment out of it, it don't matter what size it is. It could be the size of a bathtub. As long as you enjoy it, it don't matter. That's my opinion on it anyway. Right. hopefully this time we don't have background interference.
Can you hear
And
me?
yes, we can.
Bit of an
Whee!
echo.
Stop taking Michael, you will.
Right, lads?
Bloody Warwick guys. All the same.
How's the show gone?
Yeah, it's been a good day. Long day, mate. We left the house at, well, I go up at 5 this morning to bag fish up. Was at the show for 7:30, and we got home at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm a bit exhausted. But no, we've had really good comments from Alan Tate, the head judge BKKS. There was 3 judges there today, plus a trainee, and they all had massive thanks for the club. The quality of koi was that high. It took them a long time to judge them all, and there's 90 koi in 18 bats.
Blooming Nora.
But
Big,
from size 1 to size 7 plus.
That's a big wide range of koi then as well, isn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Massive.
Because I don't know why they can't just have it. I know it's just my opinion on it. Rather than sizes, just go like from 15 cm to 20 cm, and then another one that's 25 cm, so on and so forth. Because having it in different sizes, it's a bit.
You go 0 to 25, 25 to 35, 35 45, 45 55, 55 65, 65 75 plus. So that goes in 10 centimetres.
Yeah.
But what it
how
is.
come they're all in like Birmingham area?
What?
How come they're all around like the Midlands?
The shows.
Yeah.
It's just where our club is, mate.
No, I mean not just yours. I mean like the Coventry one, and
Yeah, well, that's the headquarters of the BKKS, mate.
Oh, is it?
Yes, Coventry is the headquarters of BKKS.
So your one's part of the BK. So your club's part of the BK.
Yes,
Oh,
we are
got you.
part of the BKKS, and I'm show chairman.
Oh, are you? You've got a tree off me, haven't you, mate?
Yes, mate, I have it. I'm actually looking at
Take
it now.
it out.
I'm actually looking at it on my it's in the lounge
Windowsill.
anyway.
Yeah.
Coffee table.
So, as if you could tell you're tired if you can't think of a coffee table.
I'm actually looking at it. Like, what's it on? It's on. It's on the coffee table in front of me. Literally, I put from where you are, where the camera is.
I don't know, but at least, do you have many YouTubers and that turn up then, or would it?
Yes. We've had Kopi was there today. We've had Scrag. We've had Mad Dog. Phil from Telford Koi was there that I saw. My boy Koi was there. I didn't get a chance to chat to him. Who else has been there today? But apparently there's a whole load of them coming tomorrow, apparently.
Well, if it were a bit closer to me, I would go, Nigel, but unfortunately it's a bit far for me.
Yeah, it's fine, mate. Yeah, it's one of the things, isn't it?
You know what? Didn't you invite me down, Nige?
But you couldn't do it, something. You were busy.
Yeah, well, I remember now.
There's always next year.
Yeah, defo.
And then the Rob and Chris, I can't remember if they're I think they are from the States or Canada. If I say it the wrong way, please do correct me. This winter for us is going to be a mystery. It's our first above ground. Not shutting pond down though. Pumps will be running all winter. Plan on opening up the weirs for greater flow. Well, hopefully with your greater flow, and obviously, and you've also got your air in your pond, it shouldn't freeze, because I had mine where I just had the air on and obviously the pump's flowing, and it didn't freeze whatsoever. As long as you keep that top of that surface moving, you should be all right. But with the winters that I know that side can get, I would definitely insulate. If you've got any outdoor pipes, I would definitely insulate them as best as you can. So it covers you for the winter then.
Just saying, we also had West Bromcoy was there and Fenland Lass was there. And she's hoping to have a stall next year and show her owls outside.
Oh, the barn owls.
Yeah,
They're better to them, aren't they?
yeah,
Weather dependent.
yeah. Oh, we had some parrots walking around today on somebody's shoulder. So
It's one of them. As long as weather's good enough, you're not so bad, are you? If weather then
Yeah.
is a bit pants, it's not so good, is it? But I suppose at least we yours being all inside and enclosed, it's not so bad, is it?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
240 foot long and 40 foot wide marquee.
That's a monster. That I've seen that. That was huge. That.
I'll do a video tomorrow. I'll put it up because I've got some footage of when it first started Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the show was ready. We had people arrive yesterday setting up stalls, trade stands. So yeah,
Well, that's what it's about, isn't it? I suppose the hardest bit is getting the volunteers, and it's the people that do everything before the show is what actually makes the show.
yeah, people don't realise what it takes. I mean, we started at 8:45 on Monday morning when the marquee people arrived, and then I had the club members arrive at 10:30. The marquee was up and done by 1 o'clock, and by then we'd already got the show vats in place. And then Tuesday, 60,000 litres of water came.
Are you doing yours like the trickle in, trickle out stuff like
No.
they've done at the other shows this year? No.
No. Because of the way our water is, with coming in by tanker, we've got massive big vats out the back that we put the excess water into, and then we do water changes depending on what the tanks are reading.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm taking over completely next year, and there will be some changes implicated, sorting stuff out. So,
Sorry, Nip, I just had to put that one on screen because Simon Shear just nip out.
Nip out, yeah.
I just had to bring it on screen because I found it funny. Sorry.
What's better than
What
a carrot?
Don't start all this lot off again, please.
Yeah. A carrot today
dear.
keeps the fish at bay, yeah, I know.
Oh God, we went down to 4 degrees and we were fine. And then Gaz put mine dropped to 1 degree last winter. Like I said, me and Gaz ain't too far away from each other.
Yeah, you're up north, aren't you?
Yeah, in the best place in the country up here, you see.
No.
Yeah, not
Exactly,
that.
Will. Yeah, how's it going?
I'll nick it from somebody else's show. If you don't know whose show it is, go and check it out because it's one of his bits. But yeah, it's and like guys put there, we had a great laugh, didn't we? We certainly did, and I'll do it all over again. And I'll,
Did Gaz do the salmon?
They were on it. You'll have to. How did you not watch his live?
I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the salmon.
Part 1, part 2, part 3. I think there were 4 parts.
I think, yeah,
and he was swimming with his fish.
Yeah.
Will, what have you been doing, Will? You've always watched every single one of his videos and you've missed it.
I'll have to watch it again. I'll have to do it.
Oh,
What
cool.
part is it?
Gaz, look at this. It shows off your channel and then he even forgets this part of your life. Oh God!
He never done it. He'll have to go in again.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to use Simon saying here. You just had to nip out, did you? Sorry, Nigel. I just had to say it again.
You're up, carrot.
I never.
That's another thing that I was going to get to. Can't wait for the big end of season measure up of the koi because it's been a crap summer. Do any of you lot do that at obvious?
Do
you do that?
Massive.
No.
That's what I was just going to wonder. Does anybody do that as an end of season sort of see how your fish have developed or like that?
Well, see, because I show mine now, I then know to measure up which ones I want to take out. And I've got my big Akamatsu's in the show, and it's Nisai, and it's 53 centimeters long, and that's came from an Adam Buyer fry, and it came out the grow-on tank last year at 30 centimeters in 7 months.
But it's just shocking growth,
And
isn't it?
it went into the big pond, say at just over 31 cm. And this year, when I got out to measure it, it's gone from 43 to 53 cm this summer.
Blow me neck.
Mm.
I'm telling you, I've got the bargain fish on YouTube, hands down. I'm telling you, I swear I got 80p, right? I swear I got a batch off Aladdin for Zachary, and he said, "Yeah, well, you can have them 20 quid. They're from a place called New Forest." I didn't know Rick at this time or not like that. Swear to God, 4 back. Who is never fucking made up?
Yeah, actually, those fry I had off Ricky, I've had to move 6 of them out of the grow on because they're getting that big. They won't let the other ones feed.
Yeah,
and they're a good 6 inches long, and they've gone into my pond 3 now up the top of the garden.
Yeah. No, I'm buzzing you.
I've got some Kajako in there. I can see there's some Kajako fry in there.
Thanks for joining us.
I've got some Kahaku and bits and pieces of Adam Buyer as well in there. So
yeah. Well, I've got me main, apart from me big Sankey, all mine are from Rick and New. Oh, and me tag, me Vicky that I got at the BKKS. But yeah, I wouldn't go nowhere else now. Never.
Hopefully that works now. Apparently people said they couldn't hear you that well, so I've adjusted your microphone. Everyone, so I've adjusted your microphone, so hopefully they all can hear you better now.
Can you hear me now, Mother?
And I'll just drop him out while he's sorting that out. It's one of them. It's amazing how much growth you can get out of a koi, but going on what Ricky from New Forest said on one of Gaz's lives is surely, if I remember rightly, the more heat you put into the koi and whatever else, then you're shortening. Remember, like you're shortening their life because you're aging them faster.
Yeah, but realise my big pond is not heated at all, and it's only heated by the sun through the polycarb. And when I left this morning, it was at 23.4. The grow-on tank is powered by a 600 watt fish tank heater, and that was at 27.2.
And there we go.
And pond 3, which isn't heated either, that's up the top, and that was at 23.4 this morning when I left.
And there we go.
Well, we know you look beautiful, mate. You don't have to keep rubbing your face. You're all right.
I'd say that's for the twice. That's twice, Will. I've got you back now. I'll stop. That's twice I've got you, and now we're fair and square.
I'll get you back.
Now.
I will get you back. My fucking GBHD's kicking off big time.
I thought you were ready because you were sat there and you were sort of looking at the camera. So I thought you were ready to come back on. So I brought you back on.
I thought he was putting his moisturiser on.
I wish. You not seen it? Speaking flared up.
Yes, it mate.
So yeah, that answers Eden Koi Pond. Is no moisturised? No. So sorry, Will. I just thought for a laugh, for all the tech. Because how many times have you got me? You've got me. Not 3 times. I think you get in the chat twice because I couldn't pronounce it, and then I said it again, and then you nearly did it another time, and then I said the name in the background. So
I know.
we're fair and square, and you know, if it brings somebody a bit of laugh, it's what it's about, isn't it? So I do apologise if it was something private, Will. I'll just
No,
apologise in advance.
freaking green for me skin. Just kicks off now and again.
Yeah,
there we go.
We've had a good laugh this week with the some of the lads putting some of the stuff up. Like we put some Verco into a bath to sterilise all the nets and so forth, and it bubbled up out into a big donut with a hole in the middle. And we got one lads to stand behind it, and one lads took a picture of him. We said it was his hole. And then when he got the nets out to put them to go and dry, it landed on his head, and we were just crying. He's got he's got white hair anyway, but it's just like the Birkin on his head with this massive big foam ball on his head. Just like, wow, we were crying.
What do you reckon that you?
It's what you got to do, isn't it? You got to have a laugh when you're doing these things.
Yeah.
You've got to do. I know, Kevin the Carrot. I ain't missing your comments. It came up. That I know exactly who that is because they like taking the mic, and I know exactly who it is. So yeah. Look, there you go. Because I know exactly who it is. Look, the comments on the screen. You're very welcome. But it's one of them. Do you reckon you're going to actually win out at the shows then, Nigel? Or I know obviously you're not going to know, but you've had a look at the competitors.
Yes. Lisa has done really well with her fish. Really well.
Today?
And I've got three of mine have got tickets. Set first or seconds.
So you sort of have an idea that you're going to win at least.
Yeah. I mean, Miyake Matsuba, that got first into class. Miyazaki did. I think Miyazaki got second, and my Kage Hayatsuri, I think that got first or second as well. So I'll recheck in the morning. I was just that tired when I looked at me back tonight before I came out. I was like, oh yeah, okay, right. Let's get over.
Did you leave them in the vat overnight?
Yeah, we got security on from Friday night till Sunday. There's 3 security guards there. They sleep there. So
I'm not being, well, I am being rude, I suppose. Not being rude, but is it cost a lot to run all that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The marquee is £3,400. The water
for the weekend.
For a week. The water, 60,000 litres, was £1,044. So
you got that.
You can't. It's got to be pure borehole water.
Pure what?
Borehole water, like spring water.
All right.
Comes up, and then you've got diesel for the generator, which is going to be running 24/7 because of the air. And I've put about 180 quid worth of diesel in that. And what we've got left there now, we'll do tomorrow, and that'll be it. And we've also got a generator there on standby, just in case the other one goes down. And that's cost me £360 just to sit there. Just in case the other one packs up.
And like Jigsy put there out, it was what I'm going to say. You said the security guards are sleeping. Like, Nip, them security guards shouldn't be sleeping.
Yeah, they take it in turns. Yeah. One goes around the outside and one checks on the fish and everything inside.
But it depends how you're measuring your screen, Eden. You're measuring it inside to inside or outside to outside. just a joke. What we're going. It's
a big operation, like, in it, to run a show, like.
Yeah, people don't realise, mate. Say from Monday morning at 8:45 when the marquee arrived, me and my team have been flat out all week, and it's only up really Thursday afternoon that we can really take a breather and think, right, all we got to do now is get health and safety out of the way, make sure all the signs are correct. The tables are set. I've set all the tables out so I know the way executives traders are going, who's going where, and then they started arriving yesterday. Some of them have come up from London. They come from all over the place, actually. But we've had a big lot of help from a lot of big koi companies sending stuff for the raffles. I mean, today alone, we had 52 raffle prizes from big companies. And Exclusively Koi sent us a £200 automatic feeder.
Good.
Automatic feeder, and we've had fish treatments, fish koi bags to lie your koi on the street. We've had stacks of food, bottles of wine. It's mates and pumps. Tim Waddington has sent me I've got to pick it up, a 10,000 Aquasource Aqua pump, Evolution Aqua.
Yes, it'll be the 10,000 Veriflow, won't it?
10,000 Veriflow, yeah.
What was that pump I wanted, love? 10,000, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't.
It's going to be in the raffle, mate. So
Definitely.
But yeah, I mean, we've had Saki Akare have donated all the food for the winners.
And
the winner gets a 15-kilo Saka of balance. The 11 runners up for their different categories, they get a 5-kilogram bag of sake in large or medium pellet. And then we've got 7 subtotal divisions, and each one of those gets a 2-kilo bag of sake.
And
you got them big glass trophies as well, isn't there?
Yeah, they get the 7 top ones. 11 top ones. They all get glassware or a metal trophy.
Yeah,
and a
decent,
rosette.
You supply all them as well.
Yeah, and this year from Wayside Koi, they've printed our T-shirts for us, and John, thankfully, has sent us mugs and coasters, and we've given those to the prize winners.
And like Eden Koi
with mid-staffs on them and the date.
Well, like Eden Koi Pumps put their fair play to all the hours that you guys put into the shows. It's crazily generous, which it is.
Yeah,
because, I mean, like I said, without these shows, people won't be able to see the top quality end of koi. Obviously, we know they're out there, but for the general hobbyist, it's a bit out of our sort of price range. 5-10 grand.
Don't get that wrong. Don't come at, because I grew mine from a little tiny fry.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when you see majority of the VATs of your 70 cm, your 80 cms and stuff like that, like the Great British Koi Show, I think it was VAT 1 or VAT 2, and they're 80 plus cm. You can grow them to that size, but a lot of
our GC this year is a Kahaku, and it is 83 cm, but it's massive, man. It's got some real serious body on it. It's stunning.
I'd like to see at one of these shows. So I've only been to one, obviously the one in Coventry, but I was speaking to Ricky from New Forest, and it would be good to have a YouTube of that. You know what I mean? Why not? Whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, something like the National, you could actually have a section just for the YouTubers, like they had last year for the all the traders. You could have a YouTube section.
Yeah.
And like Gav put there, good to all those who have been involved in putting on the shows. Well, it's put show, but because it's previous show.
I mean, some of the lads are giving up a week from work.
Yeah. And it's free.
Yeah. Have you seen that comment?
103.
Yeah, right.
103 Kahaku. Yeah. All right. Come on, then.
Is that meant to be millimeters?
Yeah. This is why I love Dave and his comments. He's always like this, isn't he? But it cheers everybody up. But I think the sort of pre-winter checks I'm going to do this year is probably ball a few of the fish up. But while I'm at it, it'd be towards the end of this month. Well, we've still got all right temperatures. give
Yeah.
them some scrapes, make sure they're all clear going into the winter period.
Yeah.
Because when you drop below that 10, you sort of a lot of your products you can't use because it's below that 10 degrees factor. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to, if there is out there, treat it before I do get into the harsher winters.
Yeah,
'cause-
yeah. I mean, because mine's fully covered with two massive
Yeah.
8 foot by 3 foot wooden doors on the front that lift up. But in last winter, mine never got below 10 all winter. And say
Yeah.
that's not heated, so.
Well,
it
yeah,
comes-
but
it comes- so
I
as soon as
think-
you get a bit of sun on it, it picks it up.
like last year, when I put the covers on, didn't even know if I was asleep or not on last year. Got on YouTube. So I just, if the fish was swimming, come like November, December, happy days, covers on, have a look at them eat every other now and again. Come May, they're not floating, happy days. That's the way I
Yeah,
used
but
to.
Yeah, well,
I've
yeah, but
learned.
as long as you have that gas exchange where, like I do on mine, I put some sort of, like, even if it's a 2-inch big 1 inch bit of timber every so often, so the gas can come in and escape.
yeah,
Because the problem you when people cover is they don't leave areas for the gases to exchange, and also you get a lot of condensation underneath your cover, and obviously then that water then is dripping back into your ponds, if that
Mhm.
makes sense. Whereas
Yeah.
if you
You learn a
allow,
lot. You learn a lot on here, don't you, on YouTube?
yeah. Well,
This
come the
is-
winter, all I do is turn all my vari pumps down, turn the UV off, and then all the pumps are just ticking over through the shower with trickle tower and the main 210, and through me 100 litre bio, and they're just ticking over. Just shut it right down, and me 20,000 that goes down to this lowest setting at 30%, whatever it is. At the moment it's running 50. That'll go down right down, shut that down to 30. And my other one that will get shut right down as well on the shower, and that'll probably only put in maybe 4 to 5,000 litres over the shower instead of 20 plus.
I've wrapped my easy pod up.
You what,
I've
mate?
wrapped my easy pod up in an emergent, the emergent heater upstairs, the blanket.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done that. Wrapped that, put a bungee around it, made up. Well worked.
and then
Right.
like gas put there, but didn't you have a solid fuel burner going into that room, Nip?
No, because the heat exchanger wouldn't work properly. So what I actually need is a wood stove with a glass door on the front, so that the heat exchanger can go on the top in the water. That will work better, because the one I've got wouldn't heat exchange properly. So it hardly ticked out. It just ticked over a couple of days, that's all, and it wouldn't work properly. So scrap that idea.
And then Eden Coip, I'm going to feed pedigree chum next year, then you all won't be laughing. He loves.
I thought
loves
Winlock
that.
would be better.
Hey,
Pet
I'm gonna have to
pedigree
go, mate.
chum.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go, Dave.
No
'cause I'm only down
problems.
to
Yeah.
5% on me iPad, mate. So
Not
I'm
a
about
problem.
buggered
It's
anyway.
nice to have you both on. And like I say, anybody else wants to jump on, they're more than welcome to.
yeah,
the more the
I say
merrier.
anybody,
Nice one, mate. See you
anybody
later,
about
lad.
tomorrow.
so, I mean,
Mid staffs. Public's open at 10 till 4 tomorrow. Come on down. I'll
you
be
go.
about. So we'll just say come down. It's only £4 for adults, £3 for OAPs, and £1 for children.
There you go.
Right,
A nice
so-
pub there for you.
And we've
So if
got
anybody,
massive big raffle again, but we've also got a fish raffle tomorrow, £2 a ticket. So and they won't be small fish tomorrow.
I'm just having a laugh because Eden Coip put a comment. A bit suspect that they're both leaving at the same time. Date night? ?
No, I'm going to go and join Lisa and get some kip.
Alright, I'll catch you later. And like I say,
All right, lads.
if anybody is going, and like you said,
Yeah,
open
just
at 10
please-
a.m.
please come
tomorrow.
and yeah, I'll be back. Just please come and say hello. It means a lot.
Alright, catch
All
you
right,
later.
guys. Cheers, guys. Ta-ra.
Ta-ra. And then I nearly pressed wrong button. Then I nearly went off as well. That wouldn't have been a good idea, would it? And that is a question. Are people doing end of season measure ups? Well, to be fair, I agree with what Daz put there. Gaz says, has the season even started yet? To be fair, it certainly has. I think we had 21, 22, like I said last week. And other than that, my pond's been sat around 18, 19 most of the year up until then. If you want to come on, Dave, and have a chat, where the blue banner is, or anybody else wish to do so, then I shall just paste it in there as well if you wanted to. And then our pond has been low 20s most of the summer, 19 degrees for 2 days. It's okay for some, but I think, pardon me, like I said earlier, I think mine with a roof, it sort of keeps it a bit cooler, but it keeps it a more of a steady temperature generally. Because I've been going to work on a few mornings, I think this week, I think outside temperature about 8-10 degrees. My pond was at 17, so not too bad. Last weekend it was 22.5 in the pond, and this weekend it's 13.5 again. But I had around the same as you, didn't I? Then guys, 22.5. But then this weekend I'm at 17 point. I think I was at 17.2, 17.3, something like that. I've already brought that coming out. Like you said, you've earned it. It certainly has. It's one of them. Apparently, I'm only saying apparently, it's something that's, has come up on as a notification on my phone. Apparently, we're meant to be having another heat wave coming soon after a thunderstorm. So, just as the koi is slowly getting ready for winter, then we're going to have another heat wave. So, are we going to have a proper winter, or are the fish going to be a bit up and down? Only time will tell. Fingers crossed, we have an all right winter. Be okay if they tried being consistent. Well, it's one of them. It's the weather, isn't it? You just can't. You can never get it right, can you? But hopefully it does come. But we'll see if it does. As long as mine stays high enough to keep feeding Saki balanced, I don't mind cracking the food. What's the difference in the koi? But what with your Saki balance, what degrees do you feed yours down to, Jigsy? I might have already asked this and somebody said it earlier on Gaz's Live when I asked it, but you might be able to tell me as well. Dave, you're missing a full season. Full season. Oh, God. Oh, the spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And we are still, because he's going to correct me again, autumn doesn't officially start until the 23rd of September. So we're still technically in summer, if you want to call it a summer. There you go. And I know you'll be laughing. Pond's maintaining 19.7 the last couple of weeks. That's not too bad then, is it? Our seasons are totally out. I say it every year. Well, I suppose it's just the UK in general, isn't it? We have a few days of hot summer and then it disappears as soon as it comes again. See, I knew you'd be laughing at me, guys. I knew it. Oh, everyone is feeding Saki. You all won the lottery or something. No, I got given some to try. If you watched my video, Dave, you would have seen. I got a bit of Saki Akari to try, and I've never ever seen my fish to, just go up for food that quick. First time I threw it in, I thought they're going to go a bit. But no, as soon as I throw it in, every time I go, no matter if they're swimming around, they'll stop and they'll just go straight for it. Whereas me other food, they're like, oh, okay, right, we'll go. They just go straight for it. And I'm getting a lot less waste as well with it. So I suppose it depends on what sort of filtration you've got and what size pond. And there's a lot of other factors, I suppose, other than just your waste and stuff in your pond. Having an in-ground pond helps keeping the temperatures consistent. It probably does ANC when you've got two young kids. Because I did if people have watched my show video, my kids are 6 and 4, and I thought when I was building that pond 3 years ago, I thought with them being so small, I didn't want an in-ground pond because if they walk into it and that, I just build it a bit higher and have it a bit lower in the ground, and it seems to work. The kids love it, and my daughter's getting into it a little bit, and my son does the same. So little small steps. Hopefully, I can get my kids into it a little bit more. On the time will tell, won't it? It's the first time feeding it, mates. It won't stop as the fish are going indoors. But like I said, why are you putting your fish indoors? Is it because you're doing something else, or is it something you've always done, Jigsy? Or you can even click the link and come on and have a chat like Will's Coy's done and Nipping Coy has done. Fortunately, we did have technical issues with Devon Coy Pond Martin, but hopefully next time we'll sort them out. And that's what you were laughing at. I brought it up earlier. My pond has been hitting 26 degrees without my heat. A big difference when a greenhouse. Well, there you go. 26 degrees, that's bath territory. We done 35 kilos of Sakiakari this year. Not loads, but enough. It's one of them. How much have I gone through? 3, 5. I think I've gone through about 10, 15 kilos throughout since February all the way up to now. I think that's roughly what I've gone through. I just tend to buy it and then feed it them, and then when it's in a floor, I don't keep a count on it. But it's one of them. You've got to find something that suits you and your pocket, and obviously what your fish like as well. But and see if you want to drop on, or anybody wants to drop on, then the link's at the top, and I'll put the link in the chat as well. We've had an in-ground pond for 14 years. The kids were fine. Just don't have a net. So dangerous. It's one of them. It's just all the factors that I was thinking of, and it's just, just one of them that going through in your head. You're like, what if, or what if? It's, I just wanted to be more on the safer side and then not worry. But this is what it's about, isn't it? Everyone, that has their own kids or grandkids. Everyone has their own. When you're building a pond, you have your own mindset, whether you want a more natural pond, sleeper pond, block pond, whatever pond you want, and everybody designs their own ponds their own way, don't they? You guys are feeding 10, 70 to 80 plus size koi. So isn't really that bad, is it? And I'm not surprised, Skeggy. The amount of fish you've got in your ponds, in your IBCs here, there, and everywhere. That's still a lot of food, but you've got a lot of ponds and a lot of fish. But saying that, you probably get it a lot cheaper as well, cheaper than what we would get it anyway. And like I say, if you haven't seen my post, there is a 10% discount if you use the code DTCOY in the checkout area. If you go and check out Skeggy Pond Supplies on his website, there you go, Skeggy. And also a bit of a plug for me. There we go. So hang on, I've just missed that one there. I got a lot of expensive toast in the pond, mate. Sold all my big fish, so not taking the risk. So they'll be there first winter then, Jigsy. Because I think that's what some people do, don't they, with the Tosai. if they can, heat it through the winter or something like that, just to get them through the first winter. Or like me, they just go in the pond, and they have to be prepared for it. Because unfortunately, if unfortunately they pass away, then they pass away. I can't do it about it because I'm not going to heat my pond. Be too expensive, especially the electric prices now. Is that 6 upside down? I've gone through 40 kilos of Takasumi mix. I'm currently on my second 10 kilo of Takasumi Vitals, so 60 kilos across all my tanks. I'm a pond, so that's 60 kilos this season. The Takasumi does not give as much waste at all. That's what I'm saying, Tony. Every pond's slightly different, you know. Every filtration's different. So what might work for one might not work for another, or it might work for a lot of people. You know, everyone trials out on what works for them and what don't work for them. That's since April, and we run out last week. Well, no one here got them in Big Koi as well. Then, likewise, I've gone through 10 kilos a month with these. Well, it's not like your fish are very small, is it? Neither, Martin. So I've got mine from I think around 15 cm up to last time it got measured. The Platinum Orgon was 54 cm. So that might be the one I might get out for the sort of winter checks, should I say. Probably October-ish time where it's still above decent, and I'll measure it then because it does look like it's grown a bit. I don't know if it's male or female, and to be fair, I'm not bothered if it is male or female. It's just, oh, you got a cat in the background. Is it gone? No. Right. 1 second. Just while I let the cat in. This is the only problem being by the window. Sorry about that. Right. Irish Geordie's got it. Thanks for joining us again. Well, I've been feeding the brain fart, Yoshiki. I can't say that word, sorry. Everyone can have a laugh at me now because I can't get it out of my mouth properly. Brand food for the last 3 years now, 3 meal pellet, and I can honestly say it's a great product worth a try. Partner in that. How much did you save, if you don't mind me asking, bulk buying with Adam? Skeggy. I've been using JPD Shogun, not overly impressed. And how come that? Eden, well, Dave, just come on the show. It'd be nice, you know, a new face to the show. Or if not, somebody that's been on the show before, you're still more than welcome to come on the show. Can have up to 6 guests rather than just me blabbling on. I'm not too forced. Because it's nice that we've got 36. That's another thing. We've got 36 people in. Can we have at least 36 thumbs up, thumbs down? Because it matter. It all helps me out. So that would be very good. Thank you very much. And 60 kilos of Takasumi all purchased from Skeggy. And say, yeah, with you all getting together, can you remember how much it was? Because, you know, it might be something, might be able to look into, Gaz. Maybe. I don't know. Dave, use Shuri Shogun is more of a winter food, mainly wheat germ. I'm on the JPD Shogun, love it. The clarity is a lot more than the Japanese mix I was using. This is what it's about. Everybody's different. I tried the Japanese mix, but I think I worked out what mine was. I think the feeder were putting a little bit too much food out and that the koi wasn't eating enough. So the food was obviously sitting in the water a lot longer. And I think that's why I got the tannins. But then you go and Gaz is using Japanese mix and you look at his pond and look at the clarity of his. He hasn't got no tannins. So, you know, every pond's different. Let's keep going down the comments. I really can't remember, but it was okay. Made it more cost effective. To be fair, I think it would have done, Gavs. It might be something, you know, we could all see if we could do something like that, Gaz, where we could have a, you know, get together and make everything cheaper. You know, bulk buying something as a group, possibly. I don't know. Do you think that's good? I take it that was the reply to me, possibly. And that, there's another thing as well. What was I going to say now? Yeah, I've come up with an idea, and I would like you to put it in the comments below. I'm thinking of doing a koi pond, you know, where we all get to see each other as koi ponds, and hopefully have a few guests on at the time, where we can actually appreciate other people's ponds. You know, if you want to, you know, send them to me. You know, if you've already got me on the different social medias or whatever, or go on my group, because I'm thinking of doing a koi pond appreciation. Just so then we can see each other's ponds and see what other people's comments are on other people's ponds, because it'd be actually quite nice to see, you know, different people's ponds, in whether you're a YouTuber or not, and probably pick if it can get off the ground a bit. You know, probably pick about 5 every month or something, and see how different people's ponds are and stuff. And yeah, I think that's a good idea myself. But hopefully we can get it off the ground, and I'll be able to get people to post on the Facebook, or if we can get hold of me on Facebook and stuff like that. Yeah, I'll probably just repeat myself there. And share it on your own channels. Get some love for DT. Yeah, that would be great. Budget Pondkeeper shares my Saturday Night Lives on his, and that. The more we can spread the word, you know, these live shows can get bigger and better, because, you know, everybody's live shows. I quite like watching live shows. Like, I watch Gaz's, I watch Ricky Stoddart's and stuff like that. I don't always comment, but I'm always listening and learning. Mine's not learning a lot, but yeah, you know what I mean. Oh God, this could either go so well or go so really bad. Oh God, how are we doing, Dave?
Not bad.
I said this could go really good or really bad, because with you saying about the cat in the background, I thought, he's going to come on and say something. I'm going to be like, oh dear.
Just to be clear, it could go really good for me or really bad for you, but not both for me.
Well, could just go down, but you know,
It's not my channel. It won't be my ban.
And I thought with your videos and that, I thought originally your filter shed was going to go up from your existing pond roof over.
It was, and then so this that shed came up really cheap with a friend of mine. And when I was looking, the cost of wood at the moment is crazy. When I looked how much it would cost me, so what I've done is I took that shed they paid 1,600 quid for, and I'll give them
how much?
1,600 quid. It's literally built out of 3x2s. It's a really good shed, so I couldn't really turn it down. So what I'm going to do instead is where the shed is, but I'm going to extend the pond roof so it goes over the shed, if that makes sense. Yeah, keep the rain off my head for now.
Go see mummy. Why? Because she's outside. Sorry about that, just be kids. But yeah, sorry, Dave, go on. But I suppose at that sort of price, you can't turn it down, can you? Especially the price of shit.
It was just easy as well. I could literally put it up in place. I see Mr. Skeggy's very big in the comments tonight. Get him on. Come on, Daz.
Well, like I say, anybody's welcome to come on. Just click the link and come on and have a nice chat on that. You know, it's just nice to have people on and somebody to talk to, so you're not all just staring at me, looking at the comments and having a bit of a chat between everybody and that. But
Well, now they can stare at both of us.
Yeah,
Good evening,
yeah.
Fenland Lass. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm a bit behind because I'm there. What was it now? I will stick with the NT. I'll stick with the NT Labs. Food prices is good, and I've never had a problem with their foods. That's what it's about, though. Isn't it? If you find a food that works for you and you like it, and the fish enjoy it, I just like to try a little bit of different food now and again to see what the koi's reactions are and whether they like it. As soon as I got that sake balance, whether it is because it's sake akari or just a change in food, but I've never seen my fish react that quick to food going in my pond ever.
Is NT Labs Medikoi?
Medically.
Medikoi.
I think so. Yeah,
because I've used that that Medikoi. I normally use Medikoi. I find that to be a really good food. Can I just, Amanda Smith? I did answer earlier up in the comments. All I would say is look at my video with the duct tape. The Trident is very good, but it's quite costly. And personally, for what I got out of the tape, it was very, very small differences in the extra spend for the Trident. So my advice to you would be to go with the duct tape, add a little bit of tape at a time as you go up with the grate. So you could cover one grate, then two grate, and then just see. Because you bang straight into a Trident, you've got the shock of having to clean it probably every day, if not more, while it catches up with itself. And I know that can be a pain for some people. So have a look at the duct tape video and go from there. And then you can really see if it's something for you. If it's something for you, then you can look at the Trident. But I think you'd have to find a used one. I think the guy that used to do them, Neil, I think because he works abroad now, I don't think he's doing it anymore.
That's one of them, because there's some people have put the Draco drum dropping in as well, haven't they, into centres of them. And
yeah.
It's one of I run my Nexus, and I saw your bit when you were taking everything apart when you put duct tape on it. And since I've added more media to the centre, or you can call it the inner part of the Nexus,
yeah,
I'm getting next to no fines now coming out of the. It's all staying in the inner, and I'm getting next to nothing in the outer. And mine's just running perfectly now, thanks to the feedback I got out of the not so great video I did.
That's the thing with the Nexus. It is a really good. It's a really good filter. And Tim, I mean, if Tim, he swears by them, doesn't he? I mean, you have to stick a bead on that will cost you a fortune, but he swears by them. And I think the thing with the Nexus is you've got to give it time. It takes ages to dial them in. I mean, a lot of people say, what's the ideal flow, for example, for a 320? And someone will say, 10,000 litres. But it's not. It's different for every single pond. And it took me, I would say, a good year. I mean, I was happy with my Nexus, but I've tried to now take it from there, where I was happy, to that next level up by piss-arsing around with it, if you like. But give a Nexus time. If you've just put a Nexus on and it's less than 3 months old, it won't work as it's intended to. It takes a long time for a Nexus to mature and then carry on. I mean, Skeggy and that, they're in the WhatsApp group with me, and I used to moan like buggery. And it wasn't until someone told me, stop cleaning the damn thing so much. So yes, with the Nexus, you've got to put it in, and then you just got to leave it alone. Clean it when it needs cleaning, but other than that, just leave the thing alone and let it do its thing. Honestly, I'd go and have a look at Tim Waddington's videos and have a look at the state of his Nexus. I mean, honestly, it looks like there's a whole woodland growing out of some of them. It's disgusting. But they are working really, really well. So I think if you're having a Nexus, be bloody patient.
Well, with mine, I picked mine up second hand, and it was a 200, and he converted it to a 220. Yeah. And I think I stuck it on, because I'm running a Blagden IQ pump, so I know a lot of people stick the EA Verdi flows. I stuck mine at around 7,500, and I thought there's a bit too much muck going through here and returning to the pond, which I thought, right, I'll turn it down to the minimum setting like I had on my multi-bay. And when I turned it down, I was getting a little bit less in the pond. But like you say, you've got to find that fine balance between the two, haven't you?
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Luckily,
and that's
I managed to find it.
For a Vari pump, so I got a 20,000 Vari pump. And it's not a case of just going from 20 to 30 to 40 to 50. those 10 digits in between make a huge difference as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I run mine at 44% is what I run mine on, and that specifically works. If I go up or down 2 or 3%, I can genuinely see the difference.
Well, that's what it is with mine. Like yours goes in percentages, and that with the IQ, it just goes 40 watts, 40, like 42, 44, and then it's like 50, 52, and it just goes up in the watts rather than percentages. I think it's 40 watts to 85, but I only run mine full when I'm doing a bit of a clean of the bottom drain, and I'll leave it on full after I've done the full clean, bit of a sweep around pond, just to try and get that last bit of muck out.
Yeah, it's the dwell time as well. I think everybody that I speak to that's quite new to the hobby, and I'm relatively new to the hobby, I think the thing that touches ground every single time is, oh, you got to turn your pond over once every hour. And that is just, in terms of advice, that is just turning your pond over once every hour is not a requirement. If you try and turn your pond over with a Nexus every hour, it's not going to work. If you're up at 10,000 plus, it's not going to work. You're not going to get that dwell time. I think up north, Koi Pond, Simon, speak to him. I mean, he's been messing around with dwell times for his move in bed, etc., and it can make a massive difference. But if you're just chucking water in a Nexus and then pumping it straight back to the pond, it's never going to work properly. But give them time.
That's why I treated mine, because I had the multi-bay, and I got told from mine at Devon Koi Pond, the more dwell time you can get out of your multi-bay, it's got more time to settle the crap out of your pond through each bay as it goes. So I've treated the Nexus the same way, kept it, like I say, a bit of a higher setting just to get that extra. But now that I've sewn it right down to the same speed, it's doing a lot better job. Plus, it's got 30 litres of K1 in the centre now, which is better than the 20 I did have in. And now it's just running perfect. And with a retro drain, it's just bob on now. It's one of them, that retro, I would not now recommend just having a pump in the pond. Retro drain or a bottom drain for me. But obviously, where my pond is, I can't have a bottom drain. So retro, it would just bob on.
Yeah, and if that's clear, if the bottom of your pond's clear, it's doing its job, isn't it? So it doesn't matter whether it's a retro bottom drain or a pre-installed bottom drain, as providing it's doing its job. And it's each koi pond is individual. I mean, the amount of time, again, people go on forums and they say, right, I'm looking to build a koi pond. I want a really tight budget. And the first thing people put on there go, oh, you need a drum filter, you need a bottom drain, you need 30 returns, you need £1,000 backy shower. And you just think to yourself, that's not going to get people into a hobby. That's just going to put people off. You know, we have to look, and that's one thing I've always prided my channel on, is that we tend to do things DIY and we tend to keep things low cost, because not everybody can afford these. You know, I love, like Lee Hadfield's pond, I love watching his videos, but I could never spend that money on a koi pond. And even if I could, I wouldn't, because I want to make memories with my kids, take them on holiday and stuff like that. You know, there's other priorities in life. When I retire one day, yeah, perhaps, but do you know what I mean?
Fingers crossed we have money when we retire, because this cost of living just don't seem to stop.
I think a good channel to watch, if you don't follow it, most people would have thought do, is Righty, isn't it? I mean, you look at everything he does, it's always DIY. He's got a lovely pond. He just potters around it, and his videos are absolutely first class. I absolutely love his pond.
Wow. We've gone through 54 kilos of food this year, but in all fairness, I feed a quarter of an acre pond fish, mostly filled with bluegill.
Bloody hell.
That's still a lot. That's a lot of pond, that. And they make a great biochamber after the drum of the Nexus. Well, I don't know. It's one of them. I try it like you. I don't have lots of money, and if something comes up at the right price, then fair enough. That Nexus, because I exchanged my multi-bay for it, cost me £200 for that Nexus with all the media in it. So at that sort of price, I could not say no. You can't really at that price for a second-hand Nexus, £200.
No, it's good value, really good value for money. And then the thing is, it leaves you wanting more out of your pond. So one day you aspire to perhaps own a drum, but sometimes, certainly for me, and it's the same with anything in life. It could be cars, holidays, it could be things indoors, clothes, whatever it be. Actually, the biggest part of it that is fun and exciting is actually wanting it. Sometimes you want for things so much, you finally get them, and actually it's a bit of an anticlimax because you finally got them. I think wanting something is what keeps us in the hobby and drives us in the hobby. I think if you could just spend 30 grand on a pond, I don't think it would be as exciting. You know, the trials and tribulations that you go through having a cheaper pond, I think it's that teaches you. I've seen many a koi pond where you've had someone that's been in the hobby for like 5 minutes and they've done 30 grand on a pond, and then they have nothing but problems because they ain't got a fucking clue what they're doing. I think having the cheap pond, doing the DIY stuff, I think it teaches you a real valuable lesson.
This is the thing. Everybody learns from the hobby in different ways. You know, they might want that expensive pond, so they'll go out and buy a drum or whatever, or you can start off with pressure filters and build up to whatever you want, or a small pond and build up. This is what I like about this hobby. Everybody has their own opinion on things, but most of it, even though we can have a different of opinions in general, they're near enough on the same sort of lines. If you get where I'm coming from, because at the end of the day, we all keep koi in water, and as long as your pond and you're happy with your own pond, that's all that matters, because it's you that sits there, or you and your family that sit there and enjoy what you've got. And that's the way I look at it. And like Tony says there, Nexus works best at a slow flow rate. And then, just bloody mouse. And then, guys, the average turnover rate of a pond should be in the range of 1 to 3 times per hour. The turnover rate is defined. And then ANC having a bit of a laugh. Yep, that's bollocks, Dave. The pond should go through the filters twice an hour.
See, on my skimmer line, I've put my def cam back on, the old pressure filter. And again, people go, oh, no, pressure filter. Oh, you're going to kill your fish. You're going to kill your ponds. You're going to kill your family. You've put a pressure filter on. You're going to lose your job. You know, your car's going to blow up. As long as you clean it out regularly. I mean, people turn the old handle and go, oh, that'll do. But sometimes you've got to take the thing, well, once a month I take mine apart and give it a real good thorough clean out. And that does me. I've not had any problems with it. I actually had more problems when I took it off.
Yeah. And as guys put there, the number of times the total volume of pond water flows through the filtration in 1 hour. But with mine, I've got the Nexus going, obviously, at 6,000 litres an hour. When you take a bit of pipe work out, it might be like 5,800, something daft like that. And then I've got me backy shower that's going at 9,500 litres. I'm turning the pond over roughly about 1.5 times an hour. But my pond is now crystal clear, so I know it's working right. And then, because he's gone and looked at it, recommended flow rate 6,000 litres per hour, maximum flow rate 10 litres per hour, volume of water in a Nexus 510 litres. There you go.
I'm the same as Gaz actually, and I think AC was 2.5, but I'm twice per hour on my pond. Well, just a nudge under twice per hour for my flow rate.
Well, like you run, obviously you go through a skimmer, but yours is the same as mine, where you go through the Nexus and then return, and you also have got a backy shower, so you can sort of get around 6,000-7,000 litres through your Nexus, and then you've got your backy shower that requires more flow over it if you choose to, and that what makes it up. But like I had a debate earlier, in this country, is it worth having a backy shower on the pond, because are we really getting the full benefits of it, or are we not? It's a debate me and my mate that are keep toing and throwing over.
I think it's a debate that a lot of people are having at the moment. Again, look at some of the Japanese showers and the amount of water they're putting over them. So one of the things that I found when I took mine apart, is parasite issues. It makes it very difficult to treat for parasites. Not impossible, but very difficult, because you've got to make sure all that media is being touched. When I took my media out of the shower and I suspected it was clogging up with crap, thankfully it wasn't. But what I did notice, there was staining, and there was a lot of areas of that shower. And I was running 14,000 litres per hour, I think, over my shower. It's only an 800 mil wide 3-tier. I was quite surprised at the amount, even with the 2-inch spray bar. and then the jack mat to make sure I was spreading the water. I was surprised at how many areas of that backy shower weren't being touched. So if you watch my next video coming up, or it might have been my one today, I don't know, I lose track of videos. Yeah, my shower is I'm toying at the moment with just getting rid of it.
That's what I am, and just having a waterfall when we sort of get to the the higher temperature range, and just having that waterfall and just let it trickle through it, and maybe just have a bit of filter floss or a bit of jack matting or a few sponges, and just have it as that instead. I don't know. It's something that I'm going to think about over the winter, because I still think I'm going to turn it my back shower off in winter.
I think look at the bio. The good thing with the Nexus is the bio side. It's the size of the bio. We're very fortunate with the Nexus because it is such a big lump. It actually holds. At the moment, I think I'm down to about 125 litres of K1 and Helex 13 in my outer at the moment, and I'll probably push it up a little bit more when I feed heavier next year. But we're very fortunate. I was talking to up north Koi Pond, and the benefit that it adds in terms of bio, the shower, it's not being realised really, because my Nexus is coping with the bio side of the pond as fine as it is. If I was chucking in another 500-600 grams of food each time, it would be slightly different. But yeah, keep an eye on I think it's my next video. Keep an eye on what I've swapped my backy shower for, and I think, well, I've seen in the last 2 weeks it's made a massive improvement to my pond.
There you go. And then if it'll let me bring it up, because ANC put, if they were right, Dave, our pond wouldn't work. Nothing wrong with pressure filters, but that, I suppose, what you were getting at is people say that they are, but if you clean them regularly enough, they aren't decent filters. Because that's what. Yeah. And when I first started my pond up and bit my channel before I had to shut it, but anyway, I just had mine on a pressure filter, and that kept it clean. Just cleaning that out, and then once a month taking everything out and putting it back in again. But it's like, as long as you keep on top of your cleaning regime, it doesn't matter. As long as your fish are healthy and you keep on top of your cleaning regime, it's all good.
It's all relative as well, isn't it? The more you spend, the less maintenance you have. So the pressure filter, yes, a bit more work. I had one of them Awaza Bio Smart things. That was quite a bit of work. The Nexus is a bit of work. You have a drum. It's still, you're still not, it's still not, there's still maintenance required. You know what I mean? It's not the be all and end all. They're fantastic filters, but you still got to keep an eye on that pond. And for me, I don't want to be taken away from that maintenance side, because again, like the learning, doing things cheap, I think the best way of learning is being part of that pond. And you don't realise it, but when you're cleaning the Nexus, you're switching off from everything else in life.
Yeah. Well, I did that little short, I think it was a week or 2 weeks ago, and I just stuck it on slow motion and just watching, obviously, the K1 just turn over.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know what it is, but as soon as I put that bottom drain in, I was stood there for at least 2 hours just watching what actually came out of the bottom drain, well, retro, straight into it. And I just kept looking like, as my pond not being this clean.
I was with you there, Dave, and then you said you watched it for 2 hours, and then I thought, no, you've just gone over the top now. 2 hours.
It's one of them.
You want to get some treatment for something like that. That's.
But it's just when you get something new on your pond, like something like that, and the amount of how much clearer it's become, it was just fascinating, because I didn't. Well, actually, a story. I got 2 oranges that I give them as a treat, and the pump stopped working, and I thought, God damn, I've got an airlock, because it obviously says no water. So I'm like, right, prime it all, get it running again, run for another 20 hours. And then I'm like, what the heck? The pump stopped again. But with this warm weather, I wondered if the actual control box unit's gone. So I'm like, right, I'm going to have to take everything apart, try and, get the airlock out again, try it again. Nothing. It won't work. So I'm like, right, I've got a spare pump. So I undid all unions, and I had an orange peel that's gone through the bottom drain, all through the 40mm pipe work, and it stopped just before pump. I'm like, how the heck is that even possible for an orange peel to get sucked in there and all through the pipework? It shows you what you can go through.
We've still got people in the chat. There's so many people that could come on Talk Live. It'd be nice to speak to people. Daz, Skeggy, you're sitting at home. Come on. Come on live.
And then Simon Ness says, surely if your parameters are good, your turnover rate is okay. But I suppose it is. It's just where it's just a big debate, and it's like salt in pond, not salt in pond. It's a big debate like that. It's whatever works for you.
Shouldn't salt a pond.
Everyone's got their own views on it. That's what I'm saying. And then Robin Sweet, I've learned over the years, every pond is different. Long-term success is the real test as what each pond requires. I totally agree with you there. Every pond is different.
Let's light up the comments quickly, Dave. DT. Let's see. Come on.
I'm that far behind now.
I've got them live. You're not missing too much. Just a load of people waffling on, really.
If I clear our blank,
get the salt debate going. How many people in here salt, and how many people don't salt?
Well, I don't salt.
No, I don't salt. Do you know what? I have toyed with it, and I've looked at the benefits of it. But my koi dealer would absolutely hang me if he came round my house. So if I've had problems and that, Bob from Ixon Koi comes around and helps out. And he would absolutely lynch me if he knew I was putting salt in the pond. As a dealer, he is categorically against keeping them in it for prolonged periods of time. So let's see. So I think at the moment it is weighing towards there's people not using salt.
Like you said there, though, the more turnover you got when it comes to you putting treatments in, it's going to get cleaned out faster, which I agree with Gaz there.
What's Gaz? Mr. Opinion there. Every fish in your pond, Dave, has been exposed to salt, but there's exposed to and there's living in for long periods of time. So when you say it's been exposed to, is that, I'm assuming, through like bringing it into the country, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I gather that's what it'll mean, is because I could be wrong, and somebody can correct me if I am wrong, is I think probably for the travel over, or certain dealers might salt their ponds to keep them stress levels down to a minimum, because the Chag and the Asagi that I got, they were in a salted quarantine tank before I got them at 0.3. So, but in my personal pond, I don't have salt, but they have come from every fish in your pond has been, it has. Yeah. But it just depends on probably your koi dealer, because they might salt the ponds, or it's one of them. You have started off a big debate now, haven't you, yo?
I think Gaz has answered it, actually. I think he has put another comment in to say.
All Japanese koi have been or had use of salt, yeah. Because I think, because they don't use a lot of treatments over there, do they, like we do? And so, I'm not, like I say, I'm no expert on it, but I gathered that's what it was. Japanese use salt for a lot of things. You started off a big debate there, and like this is there, not for a prolonged period, but I go through a couple of hundreds of kilos a year, 200 kilos a year. Jesus.
Oh, geez, he's got a big old pond.
Yeah. Never use salt. I like it where you've used the emoji of salt. That's quite good. I salt bath the individual treatment, but never salted the pond. Yeah, that's another thing. If people don't salt the ponds, do they individually treat their koi for whatever reason in their own little salt bath? Because that's another one. You might not salt your pond, but you might do it. There we go. Salt is effective for some things. Isn't there a koi dealer grower that advocates with? I don't know, Simon.
I think he's right, actually. I think there is. I do recall seeing, and actually, I was quite impressed that the length that they went to give these leaflets out with their koi, but I can't remember who it is. Gaz, do you use salt?
Not all the time, because sometimes I get too busy, Gaz. But I put salt on my fish and vinegar, lovely a bit of cod, Oh, new one comment. I'm surprised it wasn't something like Dave. If Dave went on, that's what you would have put in comments, you. To salt my pond.
Like I say, a lot of
Wow.
people use the salt as a treatment. I think that's the thing. It's a treatment, isn't it? It's not for prolonged periods of time. That's my personal opinion. They shouldn't be living in salt. They're not saltwater fish.
And UK koi farms add salt to help young fish through their first winter. So
That's
I suppose,
interesting.
like you're saying there, guys, it's the sort of the same effect as heating in a way, in it, but in a different effect. Hospital tanks and quarantine tanks, salt and heat is a great tool to have.
Skeggy
Not
just
all
said,
the time.
Skeggy's put an interesting on these, but salt isn't a treatment.
Yeah.
So expand on that, Daz. That'd be an interesting one.
Because I suppose, what were it, Ricky from
Oh no,
New Forest?
He's gone into science now. This is
Salt alters the osmoregulation. So yeah, because salt alters the osmosis of the fish, I think, to help, remember rightly, to help balance the organs inside the koi, so then they're not stressing out as much with it, I believe. That's a good idea, so they all flow out in one, because I think that's what NC run about, guys. Do you see me comment about your returns? And I think, unless Skeggy comes out with something else, I think that's what everyone about the osmosis regulation. I think that's their like the liver and stuff in the fish, I do believe. But you know how to bring up great debates, don't you, Dave?
it's good. It gets me. There's a lot of I don't know a lot about ponds. You know, like I said, I'm fairly new to this, so it's good to hear other people's views. You know, like Gaz raised a good point there that it is used in Japan. I've not used it as a treatment. I should use it as a, well, actually, Skeggy said it's not a treatment, but I don't really get that one. But I've got sturgeon in my pond, so some treatments for me are a pain in the arse, and I take my sturgeon out and put them on the grow on, which I'd love to not do that. So, but touch wood, I've not really had. I think I've had one parasite issue this year, and that was Costia. It was very, very little. I found 3 or 4 on one fish, and I decided to do a preventative treatment. But in no doubt, it's a high risk in it, Costia. They'll either go or they'll stay, and I didn't really want to miss it. Years ago, I had a real problem with Costia, and that just puts the fear of God up me since then. But no, it's really good to hear everyone's views. And you look at all these comments, you know, they're all, do you know what I mean?
Reduces stress, lowers the load on the kidneys, leaving more energy to put towards healing. It's an antibacterial and anti-parasitic. And then guess
we've had the salt debate, the great salt debate. Should we go on a PP next?
Oh no, come on. It does. Doesn't it cause an issue if you bring a fish from a dealer that's salted and put into your pond that's not salted? And what if the dealer doesn't tell you they are salted? Well, I don't. To be honest on that one, Scrag, I don't really know. But like the Skeggy put Scrag, it's not an issue. To be honest, I've salted to 0.6 in 2 hours.
Look at Rob and Chris Sweet. I don't know where they've not had. So they've had over 45 years of keeping koi, and they've never had a sick fish. He said might be the weather difference between us. So whereabouts are you? It'd be interesting to see. But 45 years, you're living the dream without koi issues. That'd be. I think that's something we all aspire to, and it is years and years without issues.
Well, I think that America, I believe.
Oh no, Skeggy, I'll agree with this. That sturgeon one with Skeggy, I've got one koi that certain treatments is absolutely fine with. The other, so the albino's fine. My long nose, as soon as I touch a treatment in my shed, that thing curls up into a horseshoe. And I've got so much air going to my pond. So no, I think all sturgeon are quite individual in how they take treatments.
And then like Umber Coy's put a question for Eden. Is there a reason why you got rid of the trident in your Nexus and
Oh,
now taper
right.
or easy up?
This comes up loads. This does. So I haven't got rid of my trident. So my trident, I actually had 2 tridents. One I sold to a good friend of mine. The other trident is still around, but it is in my friend's Nexus. And they had real bad problems, and I really felt for them. And we put the trident on their pond, and he's quite lucky. He works from home, so the cleaning isn't an issue. But he put it on, and he's had such good results, and he's so happy with it. You know, he couldn't afford to buy his own trident, and I ain't got the heart to take it back. Just seeing him able to enjoy his koi more, you know, and as far as I'm concerned, he can just stay in his pod now.
And then we are in Illinois. I might have said that wrong. USA. There you go.
Nice.
But do you have the cold winters, or is yours quite mild? Because that might make, because we have quite obviously cold winters over here, and I'd gather that means a comment further up, guys. But there we go.
Yeah,
Atlantic sturgeon and enormous fish. They are born in fresh water, and then they migrate to sea and back again to fresh water to spawn.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never had a sturgeon, and I don't really want one in my pond.
No, I've got it for the kids, but they're a pain in the arse. Absolutely. And the long nose is growing so quick. It's not going to be long. I have to get rid of the thing anyway, or build a bigger pond.
It's one of them. It's each to their own, and that's why every pond is totally different. Dave, stop being soft and go get it back. Yeah, but the point is, whether it is Ashley or whether it's Chris, if it's somebody you know and you've given them something to try, or and it works for them, and you see they're that happy with it, you just say, here, just have it. If it works really well for them and they're enjoying the pond more than what they used to do, they're going to get the same enjoyment out of the hobby as what you are. So I say, why not leave it with them?
Do you see Rob and Chris's latest comment? That's really interesting. They'd honestly never heard of any of the things you guys talk about. Flukes they'd never heard of. So that's really interesting how we can see that different continents, there's different things going on. Skeggy are rich enough to just give it to. I wish.
It's one of them. This is the other thing that people are we doing too much with our koi over here rather than just sitting back and enjoying more, or are we just a bit like, oh, the fish are flashing a bit, we need to then go and scrape them, do this, do that. This is the other thing. Are we doing a bit too much, or are we?
Rob and Chris, can you describe your water? So it'd be interesting because we're all going for this super clear water, aren't we? Would you describe your water in your pond as crystal clear, or is it green? Is it murky? It'd be really interesting to hear how you run your pond. Also, what filter do you use over in America? What filters are you using? I think this is what's really interesting when someone from another continent enters the chat. This is where
they've subscribed to my channel via Gaz's big video. It's only because they found me through Gaz's koi pond and his channel through his big pond build video, and they subscribed to me after, which I'm very thankful for, and I'm very thankful for Gaz mentioning me in his. But yeah, we get mid-80 summers, below freezing most of the winters. Ponds are already shaded to keep them in the mid-70s. So they'll be in Fahrenheit, won't they? If you want to come on, Rob and Chris, then the link's up there. We can always give it a go. What's the worst that could happen? Your microphone, I had at the start of the show where things won't work. You've got to try things. It is nice to have people from different countries, like I said earlier, watching us.
It's the winter. So we always rely on this country. We always rely on a really harsh winter to wipe out a lot of our viruses. So as humans, what's really interesting, so they're obviously freezing through winter. My dad's koi pond to this day, he only keeps goldfish in it now, to be fair, but he would never do anything with the pond. If it froze over, he used to just leave a tennis ball in it. So if it froze over, he could then go and take the tennis ball out, and he'd have a little area for oxygen for the water to gas off. So, and he's never had an issue. So, is that where we're going wrong? So anybody that leaves their pond to freeze over in the winter, speak out now in terms of what sort of issues you have with parasites and stuff. So I'd be really intrigued to see.
And there we go. I use an Oasis external filter with a bog filter. I gather it's a bog filter.
Careful, Rob and Chris, because a bog in this country is a toilet.
You know what they mean? They mean a bog filter. And like ANC said, then water looks all the same around the world, I think. Well, water's water, but I suppose it's the way that different countries and different parts of different countries treat their own water systems, I gather. Like I said, I'm no water expert. I just keep my pond the way I keep my pond. And yeah, like you lot keep your big fish in your pond. What works for one might not work for another. Or it might work for another as well as it working for yourself. And to be fair, other than a few others of my shows, I think I've had about 3 or 4 that have gone this long. So and still got 36 watching. So it's very good that we've had a constant 36 for a while, and hopefully I've got a round decent thumbs up of 22 thumbs up. Go on, guys. Surely all of you that are watching can put a thumbs up. That would be very nice to see.
Thumbs up, yeah.
Oh, as even as a guest. Here we go. This is Chris and Rob.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
We're not doing too bad.
I just got home from
very
work.
dark.
You just got home from
Well,
work.
I'm actually on my mobile. So I get a hand join on a mobile.
What?
That now she's frozen. Oh, have we got you back? Yeah, we have. It must be my internet.
There we go.
Here.
Yep, I just got home from work. Yep, just got home from work. So I'd go ahead and join you. You were asking me something.
Yeah, with what did you say? Yeah, because you're running a Wazi external and a bog filter.
Right. Yeah. Well, this is a new pond. This is the first year for the pond, for the particular pond I'm talking about. Now we've had many other ones, but we just moved 3 years ago, and we had to set up a new pond. And I knew I wanted it deeper for the big koi because we wanted to get the big koi out of the quarter-acre pond. So that's what we did. We just went ahead and
Hang on. Did you just say quarter of an acre?
Yes. We have a quarter of an acre pond in the front.
That's a
yeah. That's a big pond.
Oh yeah. Well, we're on 5 acres out here. So
I got a couple of acres.
well, when I was younger, I had a huge pond and I lived on 10 acres. But yeah, that's a long story. But yeah, so we're trying. This is going to be our forever permanent home. So we decided to start building the above ground ponds. I've never had an above ground pond ever. And since I'm going on 60, I wasn't going to kneel on the ground and play around with my fish. So I wanted something a little bit higher that I could tinker around with, play around with, and not have to bend over so far. You know, the knees start getting old once you hit around 60. So that's why we decided to do this above ground pond. So this will be the first time I'm going to winter this pond. And it's going to be fun seeing how that's going to turn out. But it is really windy out there. I was going to take you out there, but wow, we have a storm rolling in right now. So it's not a good time to go walking around the pond.
How big's your raised pond then?
The raised pond, you know, it's funny too because Dad was talking about that the last time he had a live, and we pretty much knew what our measurements were on the pond. And like I have the big koi pond. Now, see, we didn't do the outside dimensions because we have like timber, the wood timber. So you can't measure, you know, through like 11 inch. You have to take away from the timber. So our big koi pond, let me read this. I did inches and everything. It's 10 foot 3 inches wide by 13 feet 6 inches long. And the top of the pond, because we have 1 foot shelves in the top of the pond, so we had to, like Gaz was saying, measure just the top portion and then measure the bottom half.
Yeah.
So we've got about 19-inch shelves deep on those. And so we're looking at 5,003 gallons for the top pond. And for you guys in the UK, I even converted it to liters because I want to make sure that you guys would know what I'm talking about. It is, oh my God, it's 18,300 or 938 liters.
Yeah, so that's a really nice sized pond, isn't it? That's really manageable, but still a good size to grow some good koi, doesn't it?
Right. That's what we figured.
That's double the size of my pond.
Well, then the small pond that is attached to it is 11 feet 6 inches on the inside perimeter by 12 foot 3 inches. And that one is we're going to put it at 5 feet because it's like 3.2 feet on one side. I have it to where midway through that pond, it slopes. It slopes real fast. So half of the pond is like 5.5 feet deep. The other half is up 2 feet. So it's about 3 feet 2 inches. So we went ahead and did the math and we figured that one's 3,095 gallons. And
wow.
I don't know. I've looked all over online to try to figure out how many gallons of water is in a bog and trying to figure out how deep the gravel is and whatnot. We came up with 462 because it's 10 foot by 3 inch bog with a 4 foot by 6 inch width. 10 foot by 3 foot long by 4 foot by 6 foot width. And it's 15 inches deep. So that's 462. So altogether, the gallons of water we have is 8,560, which would convert to 32,401 liters.
Nice.
Well, that's a decent sized pond, and I think one of our comments were from Skeggy's pond. They do the bog filters. There we go. Bog filters in the USA are done properly. Because over here we tend to just put it on top of our pond with some gravel in and maybe a few plants and a bit of a water return.
Oh.
But it seems like you lot do it the better way, where it's like near enough the size of your pond again.
Yeah, they do say a bog should be no less than 30% area, 30% volume of the actual pond, I think is what they go by. But I mean, that your pond has an ensuite pond. That's incredible. Skeggy's just put in the comments there. Remember, a US gallon is smaller than ours, but she kindly converted it to liters for us. So
yeah.
The liters is still a huge part. That's a really, really nice setup. Spot. And do you know what? Thank you for taking the time to put it into liters for us, because honestly, we'll scratch our heads in this country if we use anything other than our own system.
No, it's got to be centimeters. It's going to be millimeters, all that sort of liter. Like you said, going gallons. When I had to convert mine, I'm like, it's 2,000 gallons. What's that in liters? I want liters, not gallons.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's why I like watching Vince, because Vince is all about the gallons.
Yeah.
So when I follow his channels, he talks more about, the twisted koi out there by you guys. I love watching him. He just cracks me up, and he talks gallons. He talks my language. I get it.
Vince he's a good chap, and Vince, bless him.
Well,
yeah.
Who else? Are you quite new to the subscribing to the pond channels, or?
Yes. I went when I originally started doing my ponds, there was no internet. That's how old I am. Okay, you could get on the internet in about maybe 4 hours, search the whole World Wide Web, and you were done. I literally sat and watched it grow. So I never got into the tech thing, never got into any of that. I just never got into it, and I've been being pushed and pushed and pushed to do the tech thing and to start a YouTube channel. And And I'll be honest with you, it was my husband Rob that pushed me enough to finally say, okay, fine, I'll start doing videos out there, and you know, whatever. I really didn't want. I did it for me because I love fish.
So you've got a koi channel of your own.
Yeah, that's
I
what they've been commenting on tonight.
Yeah, I just started it up 2 months ago. That's it.
Do you know what?
And
I'll be
only because
sure.
my husband pushed me to do it.
Yeah, I'm going to go and check that out. That's brilliant.
I shall now, while you two are talking, I shall go.
Yeah, stick a link. Let's all have a look.
I am going to stick the link, and hopefully you should be able to get a few more subscribers.
Oh, I'd appreciate that. Yeah, my son actually came up with the name of the channel. He's got a really weird sense of humor, but yeah, he's my tech guy. He works on computers for a living and does all that stuff. But yeah, we have just basic Wi-Fi here, and it's horrible. It is so bad, so horrible.
And there we go. Everyone's asking for the link, so I've posted the link down. So hopefully you are on 33 subscribers at the minute.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if everyone checks well, there you go. You've just gone up to 37. There you go.
Wow, I appreciate it, you guys. You guys are so sweet.
Your raised pond is stunning.
Well, it's not done yet. Where the bog is, we're going to actually go along the driveway and have that be an entire bog system, and then in front of the evergreens, we're going to put probably maybe about 25 feet wide by 200 feet long pond. And that's where the big koi are going to go.
Blow me neck.
Yeah, and I want to get it like
quite of an acre pond ain't big enough. I wish I could have it aside. And then somebody's put, before I lose the comment, hi, so what size pumps do you use on your big pond?
Oh, what size pump do we have? We have two 5,200-gallon pumps right now running.
There you go. Hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah.
Horner the Clown Trigger. That's the new name on me, because you get random names coming in, and then we've got it. I've just gone past it. Where is it? Where are you? There you go. Just for you, yo backup kit.
It's twisted.
There we go.
Hi, man.
Is he on now?
I really love watching that guy's channel. He cracks me up. I swear. He busted my ribs so many times. I went to bed with sore ribs.
I don't know.
I just find him so humorous.
And then you've got a few people over here subbed, obviously, because you've watched Gaz. Gaz has already subbed to you. Because I think he wanted you on his live, so I think he'd very much appreciate it if next live, if you are available, to go on to his, because he gets a lot more people viewing, and he'll probably be able to get you some more subs as well. Because I have about 35 watching. He's got a lot more knowledge than me and has a lot more knowledge of people on his show. I'm not having a go at Dave before he says so, but he has a lot more knowledge of people on his show than I have. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, but you're doing yourself an injustice there. You got a good channel, Dave.
I have. I'm not having a go at myself. I'm just saying because, you know, I'm one of the sort of the people that are a bit lower down, and I just enjoy what I do. Yes.
No,
I'm one of that. I just show what I do, and if people enjoy watching it, and especially people in America and all over the world, I'm just amazed. Even that I get a few subscribers, never mind to get 350 odd again, and then to do the live shows, and I have 37 now watching. It just makes my weekend. It honestly does.
So you've pioneered. You've had these guys on live before Gaz has. So
I've had it's everyone's. But like I said, please, Chris, if you've got time available on a Thursday, go on to Gaz's show, because they'd be much appreciated as well. If you can't, you can't. But you know,
no, I'll go on there. I've already changed my work schedule around so I could make it.
And then I think a lot of people
I'll be playing hooky at work and watching his channel like I always do. I actually get paid to watch Gaz's channel because I'm always at work when I'm watching it live.
Well, there you go. That's even better. And then, like Vince says, he already subbed. DT, we're all learning. That's what I like about these lives. We're all learning something different, whether it's my live, Gaz's live, or anybody else's live. As long as we can all learn one thing, that's why one of the reasons I do the videos as well as so my family can see them, and that is if one person watches that video and it helps them or gives them enjoyment out of that video, then that to me is success.
YouTube is a time thing. So Gaz has put there really, really valid point. Don't be daft, Dave. You would have been over 1K if you did not restart. And honestly, up to your first few thousands, I ain't got a great channel, but I've been around for a little bit. So that comes with time. Everybody that started around the same time that I did has got a similar number of subs as I've got, because with time comes subs. It's a lot of the time it's nothing to do with. You've got to have good content, haven't you? Don't get me wrong, but I would say my content is borderline shit, but it's been there for a while, so it's consistent shit. So then you keep your subscribers.
And there you go.
I did it because my husband wanted me to do it. I didn't do it for really any other reason. I don't know. I made sure. I told my son when he set my channel up, I said, make sure, because there's channels out there that I really like to watch. And I said, and I don't want it to come up as the Sweet Koyo. I want it to come up as Robin Chris, because, I don't want them to feel like I'm out there trying to get subscribers. I actually really enjoy watching these people. And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it. So that's why when I comment, you see it come up as Robin Chris Sweet and not Sweet Koyo, because that's not what I ever was after. I just find listening to you guys so fascinating and learning so much about the way you guys do it, your passion, your camaraderie there in the UK, and how you guys all help each other is just fascinating to me. It reminds me of the way our country used to be back when I was a kid. It ain't that way anymore, trust me. But watching you guys, it's so heartwarming to see you guys reach out, not judge, and help each other. It's great. Who doesn't want to watch that?
Fucking hell, this is getting a bit soppy now, isn't it?
This is the thing. I'm not. Hopefully, Chris, you don't get. This is the way Dave always is. If you haven't already watched his channel, I better face that way.
Excuse me, don't apologise on my behalf.
It's my show. It's my channel.
All right, fair play.
But the only thing that I've got out of it, Chris, is when you've been commenting that you won't add parasites, you won't have this issue, that issue, until you've watched us over here, where we've got this problem, flukes, this and that, and you're saying, I've never had these problems.
Yeah, you're a fucking liar.
Sorry.
That's not very nice.
Sorry.
This is the thing.
I swear, hand to God, I have never heard of the issues that you guys talk about. Never knew what a fluke was until Gaz started talking about it. I'm like, what is he talking about? What is a fluke? Well, I don't get, because you guys use the same name for some other things that we use here, and it doesn't mean the same thing. So it's just really weird. So I'm really trying to listen carefully, and then there's times where I will go back and I'll watch it again, because I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying here. We don't have microscopes here. We don't go to the vet for sick fish. We don't have sick fish. The worst we'll get with fish is ick. And that's basically aquarium fish. Like my koi, when I moved here, I took them out of my pond and literally chucked them into the pond in the front. Literally, with barehanded, chucked them in there. They're fine. And we did that whole crazy roundup trying to follow the way the Japanese do it. That was a disaster, but it was fun. But we got them out, and they were all in mint condition. There's nothing wrong with them. No, nothing. I heard one guy talking about flashing, and I think what he's trying to say is that's when they jump out of the water or hit the bottom or something. I don't.
Oh no, that might have been Gary Webb's channel when he's talking about flashing. He genuinely is. He goes around flashing.
No, don't be going down that road, Dave. What the flashing actually is where your fish tend to do, like flick like that. Or
They're rubbing
and flashing.
They're rubbing themselves because they're annoyed by the parasites. Like, you know, if we had an itch, we'd itch because we got these things. Obviously, with a koi, they don't have those things. So they then use things in the pond to rub against. So it's a bit like if you had eczema and you scratched it, they get a parasite, they want to scratch it. But I think being that this is a koi community, I feel like I should send you some flukes in a bag so you can try them.
No.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd like to ask you, though, is do you test your water like we do over here? Make sure we've got this, we've got that. No.
I couldn't tell you what my pH is. I couldn't tell you what my ammonia level is. We do that for our aquarium fish, for tropical. Outdoor goldfish, pond, koi, stuff like no. No. I don't own a test kit because I have no indoor tropical fish. I don't test for any of that. We don't do anything like that. I know there are some people here, and I don't know why it's become a trend, and it's cringing when I see people hire pond cleaners that will come take their fish out, and they will completely drain the pond and power wash them. I mean, I cringe every time I see it. They're destroying an entire ecosystem, which I don't understand why people would do. But it seems to be in the last 5 to 10 years, it's a big trend out here. I would never let anybody do that to my pond. No,
it's really funny.
way.
Funny you say that. There was some plonker earlier. I see one of his videos put a wetsuit on and went in and swept the edges of the pond. What an absolute pillock!
He's on about himself.
Wow, I'm glad I didn't see that. Yeah.
You'll have to go and check his channel out. Oh, I'm going that. Sorry, you'll have to go and check Eden Koi Pond. You have to check his channel out as well. There's that many of us over here. Like you'll see him on Gazza's chat or on mine, and like you say, if you rewatch it and might be able to write them down or click it, I don't know how it works, and you'll be able to then see each of his channels. There's quite a few channels, like I say, you already followed Twisted, started to follow me, you watch Gaz, and obviously Vicky from Bubble and Fins. It's just a big community, and it's just nice to do stuff like this where we can all, you know, have a nice chat together and people come on. And it's nice to have people like yourself, Chris, come on, something different. And I'm learning, like, do you test your water? No. We had any parasites? Like I said, I've never heard of flukes, never heard of this. So you lot have said it. It's like, so to me, that sort of saying, we should be doing a little bit personally, a bit less over here than what we need to do.
I don't know if you can see them
there. Yeah, you can just see them there. If I just drop this down, if I remove you,
there you go. There you go. That's the juvenile koi. And the big koi are way down there. I don't know how much you can see of them.
Oh yeah, because you've got all your small fish there, and you can just see your bigger fish just swimming off out of where, can't you?
Yeah, they're down. Well, they're about maybe 3.5, 4 feet down right now. It's kind of cool today, and so when it's cooler, they will go down to the bottom.
Yeah.
But
looks like you're in a lovely location there.
we're all country. Yeah, I'm on a huge country block, and we don't have any neighbors. My closest neighbor probably maybe would be like 1.5 miles, 2 miles that way in the back there on the west side. And the other closest neighbors would be to my south. They're about 3.5 miles to the river.
Oh, that sounds like
and
bliss.
That's it. Yeah, we're out here in the boondocks. We like it.
That's nice though, with the amount of land you've got and you ain't got nobody about it. Do what you want. Like I say, well, quarter of an acre pond. I'll be well chuffed if I had that. It'd be a lake over here. And like Gaz just put then, sounds like heaven.
Does sound like heaven, doesn't it?
Sharp is quite no neighbours. I'd love that. I'm sorry about my neighbours if you can hear me, but that is a good idea. And then somebody put only in America. It is. You lot seem to have a lot of land and a lot of space in your houses, and over here we're all like cramped in.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just nice to see other people's views, especially from because we're doing these lives. You don't seem to really get an aspect from somebody else from other side of the world or something with the time differences and stuff like that. It's just nice, isn't it? Just to get your point of view on a live, and actually since you've come on, we've had some more people actually watching, so that's very nice. And just a little sub count for you, you've gone from 33 to 47 subs.
Hey!
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Much love to you guys. You guys are so sweet. You are so
sweet. As well, I'll go in a minute and I'll give your channel a share on my channel, because it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you tonight. I'll give it a share in a minute on the old channel. We'll see if you can get you some more.
There you go, Chris. Hopefully, by the end of the weekend, you should be near enough. Well, you should hopefully get over your 50 subscribers. That's the aim. Or with 3 more, if we've got 43 in the chat, I'm sure a few more people. Just put it in the comments one more time. Hopefully, 3 more people can just go and check out her channel and go and sub, so we at least can get her to the magical 50 mark.
Well, there is something I wanted to ask you guys that I'm really, really curious about. When it comes to these diseases that you guys are dealing with, what is your average? Do you guys even check your average temperature in the summertime of what your ponds are?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always have. Well, it depends. This year, we haven't really had a summer, if you want to call it a summer. But last week, the highest temperature I've had, but this is in degrees, is 21.7.
That's
the highest
Celsius,
I had mine
right?
at. Yeah,
Yes.
Celsius,
What's that in Fahrenheit?
Yeah. It's how much Fahrenheit?
You're working that one out, Dave, yeah, because you're a bit quicker on.
I was going on Google.
There you go. Because I don't know the
Because we don't do Celsius here, we do Fahrenheit. So I'd have to look that up and convert it.
So you was about 71.5 degrees last week, DT.
There you go. 71.5 degrees, Chris.
And that's high for us this year, really.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you cover your pond, or do you have it in the sun all day?
Mine, I have a roof over my pond, and because I had excess liner for mine, I've used that as a roof, so mine doesn't get as warm as other people's, but it stays at more of a constant temperature. So that's the highest I've had it this year. Last year I had it, well, to you it would have been around the 70 degrees area. But in winter, I've had it near enough 1 degrees in Celsius, which would have been a lot lower over where you are. And then Gaz, he had mine on average at -3, I think is TP there.
My little grow on, my 1400 litre grow on, or 16, whatever it is. The other day I went in there because it's in the garage with the glass roof over it. It was 29 degrees.
Blow me, no, that must be.
Thankfully, I've got so much air going in that pond, but they were all looking a bit fatigued, and I had to cool it down over the evening. And they all started to look a bit happier. But yeah, that's the hottest I've ever had my water.
All right. Then
Yeah.
Do you heat your ponds in the winter then?
Some do.
Some people do. I don't heat my pond.
Only the wealthy people heat their ponds in the UK. We call them the upper classes.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
See, I would never do that. I would never do that, because that is what sheds any kind of summer parasite off of your fish. So my ponds will get to where they are 32 degrees, and sometimes we'll get like maybe 2 to 3 inch ice on the top in some areas. Not where the waterfalls are. Now, like the last pond I had something kind of sort of similar to this, but yet it was in ground at my last property. It had, you'd be able to see it if you go all the way back on my channel. It only had a waterfall with a skimmer box. We never shut that down. That literally ran all winter long, never shut it down. And I had maybe, probably on one side of the pond, a good 8 inches thick of ice. And that pond was only 3 feet deep. It was very small. And it was just a goldfish pond with a couple of baby koi put in them. And my God, they grew over that winter so much. And they got so big so fast over that winter that I wound up having to bring them inside and build a pond in my basement to put them in for the next winter. That's why we decided to move here. I needed something bigger in a bigger area because we were living in town and hated it. But that's why we bought the farm, is so I could have a huge koi grow out pond in the front and then build my show ponds back here.
Yeah.
You know, to where I could actually enjoy my koi and see them, because you can't see your koi in a mud pond. You know, so that's pretty much why he built me these, so I could get my big koi out and enjoy them and be able to look at them. But they need to get super cold in the winter. They need to go through a dormant stage, and that's where they get the growth. I mean, these fish,
that's my belief as well. Where Gaz will agree with me. Up here in Yorkshire, in UK, we get pretty cold weather, and ours have got to go through a harsher winter than what they do further down south in UK. And that seems to be the best time. You grow the feed. This is only my opinion on it. Is you feed the koi more through the summer, and then as the winter comes, then they've got enough to then sort of the body stretches out a bit and allows the colour to come and other bits and pieces. But you still get a bit of growth in the winter.
Yeah, see, my pond was quite dangerous last. We had a real mild winter, and it kept teetering. It dropped to about 4 or 5, but for a lot of the winter, it teetered around that 10, 12 degrees mark, which is awful, isn't it? Because the koi immune system is still relatively low, but actually the breeding for the parasites is ideal. So, and it kept fluctuating, and I think that's why I've had such a bad season this year, to be fair. We just didn't get the cold enough winter.
Yeah, and then like Sharpie's put there, I might say it wrong, Illinois' winters are a lot colder than ours. But yeah, a lot of places are a lot colder.
It's Illinois. You said it right.
It's just because it's got that S on end, so I'm like, Illinois, I said, oh God. I when it comes to reading out stuff, I'm not always the best. So if I say it wrong and people take the piss, then they do. But it's been a pleasure having you on, Chris. And it's not, like I said, I'm going to wrap up the show. Been going for 2 hours and 35 minutes, and it's been very much welcome to have everybody on the show and everyone in the comments. It's been a very nice show. Something different. I've learned quite a bit off my own show yet again, but that's what it's all about. So on that note, guys, hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. So keep calm, keep quiet, and until the next one, catch you later.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
When I could